Apparently, they found the leakers that was basically letting the migrants or illegal migrants know what was going on and when they were going to raid. Check it out.
Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem exclusively telling Fox News she is taking action after identifying 2 internal leakers within the agency.
We have identified 2 leakers of information here at the Department of Homeland Security who have been telling individuals about our operations and putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy. We plan to prosecute these 2 individuals and hold them accountable for what they've done. And we're going to continue to do all that we can to keep America safe.
Florida Senator and member of the Homeland Security Committee, Rick Scott, joins us now. Senator Scott, thank you so much for joining us this morning. How important is it that DHS go after, and other agencies for that matter, go after these leakers inside federal government agencies that are undermining the administration's effort to make arrests and deport criminal aliens?
It's very important. Number one, Trump 40.
No, let me answer this question really quickly. Somebody says, Peace Ali TV says, budgeting like a business require higher income levels. I disagree that a salary of $70K can be used to use the corporate budget, as you can't anticipate unknowns, and being very strict will cause mental distress. Well, that's because you're not a part of the Patreon, and so I know that you believe that because you haven't actually seen me break it down in real time to the people. And so you can't disagree with something that you don't know. You can't disagree with something that you've never seen. You can't disagree with something that you've never experienced before. That's why I do it for the people, because I've been doing it for a long time and why I show the receipts. So you can disagree with something that you're not familiar with, but until you do become familiar with it, all you do is you sound like a fool. Let's continue over and let's address the leakers.
7 is going to be known for 3 things: common sense, accountability, and transparency. And so what Kristi Noem is doing here is saying, who in the right mind wants to keep criminals in this country, and why would somebody at Homeland Security want to help criminals that are killing American citizens? I mean, we just watched, Laken Riley's parents the other day. I mean, who in their right mind? So she's going to hold people accountable. I've been in the Senate 6 years. There has been no accountability. This is what's going to happen now. There's going to be accountability all across this country. If you're illegal, you don't have a right to be in this country. You don't have a right. Come in here legally. I like legal immigration. If we need to work on our legal immigration system, the Democrats should help us. But this idea that we want criminals and terrorists and narco traffickers, we want more drugs, and these Democrats want to defend it. The Democrats are being known for exactly what the American public don't want.
Right.
The American public want transparency and accountability.
Anybody that is leaking information, in my opinion, because it's not just enough for you to get fired. It's not just enough for you to get fired. That's like insider trading info. That's anything that harms or puts consumers or puts ICE agents or put federal agents in the pathway of destruction. Anything and anybody that is doing that, anybody that is leaking information, anybody that's putting somebody under duress, I think that they need to be arrested and prosecuted to the furthest extent of the law. Because not only does it put other people in harm's way, not only does it allow for criminals and migrants that is here illegally and committing crimes illegally to continue to do so, what it also does is it takes advantage of a position that otherwise you would not have. So you are privy to a bunch of new information or information that the rest of the general public don't have, and you're using it in a negative way. You're using it to ultimately do the things that's worse for America. You're using it against the agenda of the president of the United States of America, who was elected by the people to obviously execute on this premise. So when you do that, I believe personally that you should be arrested and prosecuted to the furthest extent of the law. And they did it knowingly. And they continued to do it even after Tom Homan and Trump and everybody else warned them and said, listen, for all of these leakers, do you know why they no longer do ride-alongs? Remember when Trump first got into office, right after Inauguration Day, and Tom Homan, it was given unprecedented access to reporters and people like that for them to be able to come and do ride-alongs to see exactly so that we operate in transparency with this government, because I will say, no matter how you feel about Trump, the one thing that you can't say is that he's not the most transparent president of the United States of America of all time. He's leveraging and using social media and allowing for reporters, even if they disagree with him, to go and view and participate in the places and the things that he says that he's going to do for the American people. He's been visible. He's been transparent. He's been allowing for people to ask him questions that otherwise would have been censored and silenced, unlike the Biden administration. And also what he was doing was he was allowing for reporters to see and participate in and observe and report on, regardless of whether they agree with him or not, what was going on when they go and arrest these illegal migrants that's inside of our country. And then he would come back and do an interview and add the context. He would come in, do an interview, and add the context. And they messed that up. Because then they were taking this information and giving it over to the people that they were supposed to be observing in the name of transparency. They started using the same information and then giving it out to the people, or leveraging their resources and tapping into people and warning people prior to the ICE agents coming to arrest these people that were giving out the information to prevent them from being arrested in the first place. And so they messed it up. Now they can't even do ride-alongs no more. We just got to do reports.
And of course, if you're an employee working for the federal government, working for the executive branch, and you're thwarting the efforts of the executive branch, you probably should no longer be working for the federal government. But it's funny, we're in this upside-down world where you have people behaving like this. You have Democrats today who are weighing the idea of a government shutdown in order to protest the cuts being made by DOJ. I mean, talk about lost in the wilderness.
They are lost. Everybody comes into my office every week and asks for more money. And here's what I explain to them. We've had a 2% increase in population in the last 5 years and a 53% increase in spending. We are spending $2 trillion more than we take in. Inflation will not go away, and interest rates will not come down until we balance our budget. And there is so much waste. Thank God for what Elon Musk and his team are doing. They're showing this massive, just complete waste, and exactly what the American public has seen. And the average person says, "It's like I don't spend my money like this. I would not spend my money like this." We had a hearing the other day, and I asked two people that are supportive of 4 and 8. I said, "Okay, so I have to go back to Florida and explain, what does a citizen of Florida get for this 4 and 8?" Right. They couldn't do it. They could not explain what an American citizen gets out of this 4 and 8. I'm sure there's something that's good that's there, but they couldn't explain it. That's exactly the problem we've got. Our government is unexplainable now.
Right. So obviously, people are applauding what they're seeing out of the executive branch, but there's still a lot that the legislative branch can do from your end. What are some of the things that you're looking at from a congressional standpoint to buttress these cuts and make them permanent?
Well, number one, we've got to balance the budget.
Yeah.
Number two is everything that Elon Musk and his team are finding and agency heads are finding, we've got to take a rescission package from the White House and we've got to pass it to eliminate the spending. So we've got the opportunity this coming week. If we don't come up with a continuing resolution, then we're going to have government shut down on Friday. I know many Democrats are saying they want government shutdown. I don't want government shutdown. I want accountability. I want a balanced budget. I balanced the budget in Florida. Florida had not balanced its budgets. Most states don't balance their budget. They just keep borrowing money like the federal government. I balanced it every year by doing exactly what Elon Musk is doing. Guess what? We went line by line, like you probably do with your credit card. You look through there and say, "Hey, I didn't spend this. I didn't
every family in America
I didn't buy
does.
this."
Right. Exactly. So
everybody does it.
And I want to get to this one final thing with you. I know that you're on the cutting edge of wanting to lock the clocks and end daylight savings time forever. So why do we need to lock the clocks and end daylight savings time?
Well, first off, in Florida, we like our sunshine. We love being out on the beach. We love playing sports. We love all these things. And people are just sick and tired of going back and forth twice a year. You change the clock. So they're tired of it. When I was governor, I passed a bill that if the federal government allowed us, we were going to stay on daylight savings time. I have a federal bill, Sunshine Protection Act, would say we'll stay on daylight savings time. President Trump has been supportive of locking the clock, and I hope we can get it done quickly so we stop this constantly going back and forth every few months.
I do know that you have to go through and we have to balance the federal budget no matter what. No matter what, no matter who it hurts. You can't just completely tank the company. You can't tank America. You can't just keep spending $1 to $2 trillion more every single year, and we paying $1 to $2 trillion in interest every single year. We can't do that. If we continue to do that, if we continue to place that, then we absolutely are going to ruin the company, or we're going to ruin America. I always say the company, but we're going to ruin America for our children, and our children deserve better. Our children deserve for us to be better stewards. They actually deserve better Congress members, so we need to continue to vote for Congress. But they deserve better. They absolutely deserve better, and I think that Elon Musk is doing a phenomenal job.